doing this? How did we get here? What kind of sparked your interest? And if you guys want to go down the line, if that's easiest, and like each of you can kind of share your story. Otherwise, if you want to divert to somebody else, okay? And like I said, I want you to look good. This is about you. This is good. So I want you to finish your thought, and then I can always have you start it over again, okay? But it's important kind of to finish the work. That way then you get the train of thought out, okay? All right, so go ahead, Betty.
Okay, so last year our school brought Olympic weightlifting as a sport to do in the winter. And right away, I've been doing CrossFit for a long time, so I knew that lifting would be fun. But I wasn't sure because I wasn't as confident with these lifts because I haven't done them as much. And I talked to Carla, our coach, and she convinced me that it will help me with my other sports, with power and strength. So that's what convinced me.
I started too because our school was like, hey, we're having a lifting team. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. I really like lifting, and I really love the coaches at EHP. So I want to try it just as a fun little side hobby. Yeah.
I kind of started it too because our school was like, who wants to join? So we were like, we had done some lifting here at EHP. I had done some CrossFit teams, and with track we had done some lifting, so I knew I liked it. So I just.
How different is this? You knew it was going to be a little bit different than what you maybe had done before, but how different is it, and what do you enjoy about that just different aspect to it?
Well, I'd say it's different from CrossFit because when we came in here for teens, it was we gotta work out, and then we gotta hang out and recover. And for this, it's different because we get to compete, and so we get to see progress in lifts. So we got to see progress, and we got to compete and show what we worked on.
I would say
it's okay to say, by the way, that's exactly what I would say. Okay, you don't have to come up with the answer.
I would say it's different because it's very technical, and I don't know. I really like technical sports. I think it's so fun to just keep working on it, and you can see your progress. It's so fun when you've been working on a technique thing and your jerk or your snatch, and then you finally get it and you just feel so different. It's so fun.
I think it's different because it's very individual, and it's very you have to work on your mental toughness and how you as a competitor. It kind of has taught me how to use my mental to compete at a better level.
Where have you guys seen this affect maybe some of your other sports, maybe your confidence in something else outside of sports entirely? Where have you seen kind of an early benefit from this?
I think I've learned, when I was convinced to do it, Carla told me that it would help a lot with basketball, and that was a sport I love to do, and I still do it. And I think it's helped a lot just, having confidence. So then when I go out to lift at a meet, I know that I can do it because I have people telling me that. And it also helps with strength and mobility and pretty much everything with basketball. It helps a lot.
I agree with Maddie. It's helped my confidence so much in track and volleyball, and it's helped me get faster and more quick when I'm jumping or running. So
yeah, kind of the same.
What's been the most challenging part about this? Obviously, let alone your guys' hours are even saved, but what's been really challenging about it?
I think for me, I had basketball going on in the winter when this also started, so they started at the same time. So it's hard to have both those going at the same time, like you said, the hours. So it's hard to get meets in when we had basketball games on the weekends, so I didn't get to do a lot of meets, but then now that basketball's done, I get to work on this a lot more, and going to nationals, then I get to have more time put into this, and not as much as basketball.
The most challenging part has probably been building up the mental toughness to move on if I make a mistake.
I would say, I wasn't in basketball in the winter, but just staying motivated throughout the winter because it's such a long winter, and it's just coming here at 6:15 is kind of hard to do sometimes. So that's
Everybody can understand that and relate to that. Okay, so you guys qualified for nationals. That's insanely cool. This was your first year doing it? When did you get
We
started?
went last year.
You guys went last year? Okay, so tell me about that drive to get back there, about what that experience alone was, and like how much better prepared you are now this time, having just seen it, knowing what to expect.
I mean, it was really cool just like seeing the event itself, and just like all the other lifters who were also competitive in the same sport that I was and passionate about it. So that kind of, I mean, I just wanted to have another cool trip like that, but also just like it kind of, that high level of a competition kind of showed me that like I can compete at a high level, and I wanted to do it again.
Yeah, kind of the same as Ruthie. I was like, last year I was so excited to go. I was like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool to meet other people. But going and then coming back, it just made me realize how much more motivated I want to be to get better. And yeah.
And then your first time, what was it like to see your classmates be able to accomplish something like that? How motivational was that? And how excited are you about your chance?
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing lifters, and so then when I heard that they were going to nationals, I mean, it wasn't extremely surprising, but I was super proud of them. And then I got to hear how they did and how it was, and saw pictures, and they did so well there. And now that I get to do this, it's really cool because I get to be by them, and they're really encouraging and they help because it's my first time going. But I'm super excited for the experience.
So a little bit of info. What's the sport called as a Minnesota high school sport?
Olympic lifting.
It's Olympic lifting. Okay. So how many other schools in the area have it, would you say?
Most schools have it, maybe just like a couple lifters though.
Okay.
There's not a lot of like big teams. but-
Okay. And like how many kids are on your guys' team?
From
Ballpark.
here,
I'm bad at numbers, so
that's
don't
okay.
worry.
From like EHP, it's like 4 kids in high school.
Okay.
Yeah, from our high school, there's like
4 more.
4 more, so like 4 on our
Okay.
high school team.
All right. So like when you guys do competitions, like how far are you traveling?
We usually only travel like an hour away.
Okay. Do they have it a lot more like in the cities? Do you like run into those kids a lot?
I mean, they do have it in the cities, but we mostly stay at like Moorhead or Detroit
Okay.
Lakes.
Yeah, because I know Moorhead has a big program, right? That's where your guys' competition was to advance to nationals, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you guys think is important or you want to share about it or you wish people knew about it or no? Okay, it's
What
okay to say no. It's perfectly okay.
What about this? Like, why would you suggest other girls try it?
I think like what I said earlier, like it does help with other sports and being like fast out of like jumping or running. Also we talked about confidence, like and mental toughness, like it helps a lot with that, whether you're competing in a sport or like about to go take a test or something. It helps with mentality, and I think it helps with a lot of other things besides Olympic weightlifting, and you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's also something that you can do like throughout your whole life. Like there's people of all ages that are like lifting and stuff still. So
I mean, I just think it's really cool because like I'm 34. I grew up in a time where like it wasn't cool to be strong. We wanted to be as like real thin, tiny spot. Like I love that you guys have the opportunity to grow up like knowing it's like really cool to be strong. Like it's cool to be able to like lift weight and have all that. So like I think it's super cool that like you guys have this opportunity and that you're having such a different conversation. And like learning as an 8th grader, as 15, 16-year-olds, like how to properly fuel your body. Like hearing Carla talk to you about that stuff. Like, no, you have to eat breakfast. Like that's important, you know? And you guys are learning that stuff. Do you guys feel like that's something you're like seeing in your classmates? Or is this like, because of the group you hang out in, you guys think it's cool to lift it and strength train and you guys have that? Or is that something you're seeing like in your classmates that like, girls, young women are learning and expanding and understanding that like it's cool to be strong?
I mean, there's definitely some people who do think that, but there's also a lot of people who think the other way.
So what do you say to them? Like, what do you say to people who like just aren't there yet, just don't get it yet, haven't had that same opportunity? Like, why is it cool to be strong? How is this beneficial?
I mean, they should try it out for themselves, and because they'll see like it really does like change how you feel,
Sounds good. You guys are absolute rock stars. I'm so pumped for you, and I really appreciate you guys sharing your story with me.